episode of Financial Freeway. My name is David J. Attwood. I'm the man of rockin' Ray-Bans, even on a rainy morning. It's not that rainy out. We had just a little bit of a cloudburst pretty early this morning, but I was awoken. This morning. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I was awoken by a screaming person on the street. And it's funny how I was just kind of being more cognizant of how my body reacted to the screaming, because I heard the screaming. I was like, at first it was like, what kind of screaming is it? Like, is it a help? Is it a cry for help? Or is it is it somebody saying, you know, I'm not so drunk, let me in, this is my place kind of screaming, you know, kind of situation. So I listened for a while, but it was really amazing how my body, I could actually feel my body reacting to the adrenaline. The moment I heard it, I my whole body just kind of woke up. And so I sat at the window trying to figure out, first, because where I live, it's a valley, and it's hard to kind of pinpoint where you hear noises from. And a couple blocks away, we have a fairly busy street. Well, it's 14A. It's the highway that leads from Victoria to the town of Souk. And sometimes you can hear people on that road, especially now with the new development. All the trees gone, the development comes up, and and sometimes you can hear people screaming on the street in the middle of the night. So I woke up nice and early. But it was really amazing how my body I could feel my everything just kind of open up. Like, I could feel my blood vessels open up, my nostrils open up. You know, everything just was like, wow, this is a real, it's crazy how I could feel it. Like, I could feel this, this reaction to it. So I gave up on sleep, got up, got some work done. Couldn't figure out where the screaming was coming from. So I just made the assumption that it was someone who had a little bit too much to drink last night and was maybe screaming to someone from outside. But definitely wasn't cries for help. But it was enough to wake me up. What a rooster he was. What an alarm clock he was. Getting up in the morning and waking the whole farm up. It was great. So I'm a little sore today. I think I did something to my back on last week sometime, and the drive up island on Saturday just exacerbated the stiffness of it. It's not like I've had multiple issues with my back over the years, and you know, like small lower muscles, like the muscles in the really tiny part of your back at the bottom. And this seems more like a shoulder or an upper back, like the lat muscle was overworked or torn or something last week, and it just taking a bit of time to heal. So I was thinking, you know, today maybe I won't go to the gym. I thought, you know what? I always tell people you gotta go. And Jet Li, that was his name. I remember back when I was really hardcore into martial arts, I was listening to Jet Li talk about his Wing Chun training when he was younger. And if they had a sore arm, the entire day would be leg exercises. Like, they weren't allowed to take a day off. If there was an injured part of their body, they would just work another part of their body. Every day was training. And I thought about it. I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym today, and I'll do my legs today. You know, yesterday, and I think that's what we have to do, is just keep getting up and going. And if there's something that really isn't working, work something else. And sometimes that's like better than a rest. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit more here. Bumped around a bit. Sometimes just changing up what you're doing is better than a rest. So today, my least favorite day, we're gonna make it leg day. I hate leg day. Leg days. I hate leg day for all kinds of reasons. But we're doing it. That's what we're doing, because we do it every day. We're tired. We don't want to. We do it. So, but that's not what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about was really interesting. I had a quick conversation with my sister this morning. She's been staying with us for the last couple of days. As I said before, she just bought a place, and she's staying with us until the deal closes. And it's really nice having her in our house. It's nice having her, having my house full of people again. Not full of people, but having that extra person really makes it feel more homey. So we were talking this morning, and we were talking about this guy, because whoever it was screaming in the middle of the night woke her up as well. So we were talking about what kind of a person would want to be in a relationship with someone like that. And I was like, it's but people are. I see it all the time. People, well, obviously, because he's obviously yelling at somebody, so he has a relationship, whatever it might look like, with somebody in order for him to be yelling, unless he's completely crazy and he's yelling in the air. But we've all seen it. We've all seen those guys who yell at their partners in public. It makes everyone uncomfortable, and it doesn't solve anything. And in fact, I think, in my opinion, those kind of situations actually make relationships harder and worse and uncomfortable. Yelling doesn't fix anything. I learned that years ago. I used to be a yeller. I used to be one of those guys who screamed when he got frustrated and passionate. But I remember, I think it was about 8 years ago, I was in a relationship with someone, and I'd be screaming, and all I realized that nothing changed. Nothing ever changed. It was always the same. And all that ended up happening was I got a sore throat. So I stopped screaming. And it actually is like, okay, nothing's changed. Like, everything's the same, except I just don't scream anymore. And that was 8 years ago, and it was a long time coming. It was like, why did it take me so long to learn this rule? I think it's just a thing that we do, is we have to try and convince the other person to see our point of view, and we have to do it in such a way that we have to do it aggressively and loudly, and so that's what I did. And I realized it wasn't doing anything, so I had to stop. But more than that, more than the yelling part, which again, it doesn't solve anything really. We are where we are because of the choices we made. Now, I was thinking about a lot of the things I'm going over the videos, and I'm trying to post them onto Twitter and get them up there and advertise myself there. And the more I think about it, the more I realize we are very much where we are because of the choices we make. And I talk about this in my book, My Conversations with Keegan. When we're born, there are things we don't have a choice in. We don't have a choice about the religion that we're born into. We don't have a choice with our parents. We don't have a choice of our socioeconomic class. We have no choice with our culture. We're born into it. But there's a certain point when you wake up one day and you decide to leave the home and go somewhere that you start making your own choices. And you fall victim to those choices, good or bad. And this was what came back to with the relationship part. And Raina looked at me, and as we were talking about the guy screaming on the street last night, she said, "I'm so grateful I've never had a relationship like that." And I said to her, well, you've made that choice. You've made that decision to not be in a relationship like that. You made the choice to choose people that would never treat you that way, would never yell. And furthermore, if you ended up in a situation where you were around someone that for even a few minutes, you would say, no, thank you, not my thing, and move on. And I think that's the difference. So if you're in a relationship that you're not particularly happy with, then you have to take responsibility for it. It's not like one day Raina woke up and said, oh my God, I I've missed the boat or something like that. She's made conscious decisions and choices in her life to keep be in relationships that don't have that I don't know, the volatility. So, but there are some people who are in relationships like that, and they have every excuse in the world. Like, okay, now maybe that's part of the attraction. Maybe that dynamic is part of the attraction that keeps them together. But it does come down to choices. Everything in life comes down to choices. And the more I really, really think about it, like, where are you in life? You were there because of the choices you made. You chose not to take school seriously when you were in high school. You chose to party. You chose to not focus at work. You chose to slack off at work. You chose to, and I'm saying this in the negative way, but it's the same thing with the positives. There are people who they chose school over partying, and they got good grades. And those good grades led them into getting into a good college. And being in a good college, you got to network with good, successful, ambitious people. And it all comes down, like, and I don't care where you are in life, wherever you are in life, that can change today by changing the way you think. And again, how do we make these choices? Where do these choices stem from? Let's think about it for a sec. It all comes down to where you want to be. So it's really funny. No matter where you are in life, whatever you're doing, if you're not willing to take the time, and that's all it is. It's saying, okay, look, I was going to watch an episode of Game of Thrones tonight, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that yellow legal pad of paper and that red ink pen and start writing down the things that I really want in my life. And then I'm going to spend the next 20 years chasing after it. It is so disappointing how many people refuse to take that time. And we are talking about one night, one evening, one afternoon of your entire life devoted to yourself and your dreams and your wants and your desires, and writing it down on paper and making it, actually taking it from conception to an actual tangible reality. Once you put ink to paper, it becomes a real thing. It's no longer just a thought rolling around in your brain. That is where it starts. And then from there, you start making choices. Is this going to draw me closer to where I want to be, or pull me further away from where I want to be? Is this going to get me closer to the woman of my dreams, or is this going to make me pull me further away? Like, okay, like I'm going to have this. I'm going to pull into McDonald's. Here's something I do every Monday. I fast. Every single Monday I fast. I fast for 24 hours. With the exception is I have an apple for lunch. I have 2 cups of coffee and an apple on Monday. And that's what I do. And yesterday I was so hungry and so driven. I so desperately wanted to have some French fries. So wanted some French fries that I was talking to everyone about getting French fries. And then on the way home, I was like, I'm going to get some French fries. I'm going to go get some French fries because I want some French fries. And I ended up actually getting home because the French fries are going to pull me away from where I want to go. They're not going to push me towards where I want to go. So that's the same thing with everything in life. If you want to be financially successful, if you want to be in a healthy relationship, if you want to be surrounded by friends and family that are successful, happy, ambitious, motivate you, and lift you up, you have to make those choices. You cannot sit there and just whine about how horrible things are without actually making the decisions to start putting you in that position. There is so much over the last couple of days that I've had to endure with people. And what I mean by endure, I mean I'm hearing these stories that are heartbreaking about people living and how people choose to live, and the damage it does not just to them but to relationships and to their hearts. I heard a story about a man who cried every single night when he went to bed. He tried to count his blessings and tried to be grateful for what he had, but he cried every single night because he was lonely. And the reason he was lonely, and this is the part that I kind of have to go, okay, he chose drugs. He made a decision, and he understands this. He chose drugs over his children, over his wife, over his family. He chose that lifestyle over. And look, I understand now he's an addict, and now it's a disease, and it's but at a certain point, and look, I'll be the bad guy here. When you pick up when you make a decision that this is more important than that, you have made a choice. Because I promise you, if you have a family and you're got a problem with drinking, and your family's more important than drinking, you will quit drinking. But if the drink is more important, well, then that's kind of where it ends up. That's what it is. So you got to make the choices. First thing to do, though, is figure out where you want to be. Choose how you want to, what you want your life to look like, and how you want to get there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. For watching me on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscription button. Make sure that you check out financialfreeway23.ca. That's our website. And as I always say, the most important thing is share the word, share the good news, because we want everyone in the world to understand that they have, and everyone in the world has an inalienable right to live a life of abundance. You can do this. All you have to do is choose where you want to be and start directing your ship in that direction. That's all you have to do. Figure out what you want out of life, and every decision you make, is it bringing me closer to where I want to be or pulling me further away? It's in your hands. Thanks so much wherever you are in this slightly overcast world today. I hope you're having a wonderful